If they're famous and they're in the limelight, they have gotten there because the world order put them there.
This major music producer sent me an email, and I'm talking to him, and this dude basically told me, you can't rap about Jesus, you can't do none of that, you know, we're going to give you a whole new look, whole new image. He basically was saying, look man, sell your soul. We want you to rap about and sing about the things we want you to do. Sell your soul. You can't do none of that stuff for Christ, but we'll give you a $2 million music contract for 6 albums. I gotta do 6 albums. The guy was basically telling me to sell my soul.
Paris Hilton, in my opinion, she's obviously Illuminati and programmed multiple. But if somebody gets up there like that, you can just make a safe assumption that they're a programmed multiple.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. Hefner. Happy birthday to you. I love you, Hef. You're amazing. You're 80, but you act like you're 20. You look like you're 40. You're hot. Love you.
You know, you watch these models and you watch these Hollywood stars, and these women are dressed up as kittens. They can't stay away from the kitten programming, the sexual programming. It's a natural big part of all this trauma-based mind control. Talking about the sexual programming, this one guy that was from Kentucky, he said, he was talking about how you would see these women they were going to expensive restaurants, and they would be all dolled out in this expensive clothes. And then the next thing he would know is this woman would be in the men's restroom, you know, on her knees doing something to somebody, and it'd just be so incongruous, and he'd be like, what am I seeing here? You know, and without understanding the mind control, you're left totally bewildered.
You're 80, but you act like you're 20. You look like you're 40. You're hot.
And it'd just be so incongruous.
You're hot. You look like you're 40. Hot.
Mary-Kate Olsen and her 42-year-old banker boyfriend are creating a whole lot of controversy with their 14-year age difference. They were recently photographed at the New York Knicks game. People were saying that he looks like her dad.
Ashley Olsen stepped out with a rumored boyfriend, financier Richard Sachs. She and her man went on a double date with her twin sister, Mary-Kate Olsen, and her husband, Olivier Sarkozy.
They can't stay away from the kitten programming, the sexual programming. The Wizard of Oz is one of the programming themes. You know, Alice in Wonderland is another programming theme. And you see these regularly discussed or shown on television. You know, it's so common in America today to say, follow the yellow brick road, you know, and follow the yellow brick road means follow your programming.
Alright guys, it's Chicago's first birthday party. Can you guys guess what the theme is? Oh. Hey Alice. Little party favors. Alright guys, we have to go through the maze to see what's on the other side. And look at these desserts, you guys. Look at Chicago's cake.
Mommy, can I taste one?
You know, you always want a little sweet, don't you?
movie stars, your iconic big rock stars, these big musicians, yeah, they're definitely victims of the mind control, and oftentimes not only victims but the perpetrators too. They'll have dual role.
So if you think in terms of your personality, like you and I being one person, I think in terms of, will I eat chicken or will I eat hamburger? That's a decision, but it's all just me.
Okay.
When you have a multiple, through trauma, it's trauma-based, they split human personality into sub-personalities, and they create them.
Who is they?
Well, I would say, again, deeper than the deep state, what I would call the real Luciferian.
Okay.
People that are really, they know what they're doing. They're in league with the dark side, Satan.
Okay.
They know what they're doing. They know what the agenda is. So this is they don't do it just for, fun and have an orgy and do blood, though some of them do.
Right.
This is all by design to create, and they're fostering. They're the reason for the end of the age.
Okay.
They're the reasons behind all of this.
Okay. Again, I go back to they, and you mentioned Luciferians.
Sure.
Can you take me deeper into that?
They would be individuals that knowingly are engaged with, when I say Satan, they also believe that Satan is the light bearer, the good guy. He's Lucifer, kind of like the Albert Pike and the Masons. Lucifer is the good guy. He's a light bearer. He's going to come to bring enlightenment. But they're actually engaged with him.
Okay, this is Satan's soldiers, right?
Absolutely,
directly connected with Satan.
We're eyes wide shut style.
Eyes wide shut. Okay.
Tyler the Creator. Nigga, I'm Satan's son.
Right here? That's the Illuminati.
I'm from the Illuminati.
Right there. Fuck you.
No, I'm really from the Illuminati.
I'm part of the Baphomet, bitch.
I'm from the Illuminati. I'm from 3rd Ward. I'm from the Illuminati.
So you had to fuck Jay-Z?
No, our future is a small thing of the Illuminati.
They seem to like rubbing your nose in it. They seem to like letting you know what's going on in the sure knowledge that most people will not understand the significance of what they're seeing. Or I'm wondering if there's some other aspect of what's going on here, if it's like predictive programming, in they believe they can keep the program manifesting by presenting depictions of it into the public consciousness. But either way, they seem to like letting you know what they're doing via these methods, don't they?
They sure do. I have some ideas as to why they do it, and yet, the extent of how they get in our face showing it is mind-boggling to me. And when I wrote these, I wrote actually 3 books. We've talked about 2 of them. The other one's out of print. When I wrote these books on the mind control, I actually thought that I was going to scale back what they were doing. I exposed Alice in Wonderland, The Wizard of Oz, Star Wars, Star Trek. I exposed these programming themes and how they were doing things, and their programming, the actual codes. I have 40 pages of codes. What bothered me is years later, they were still using the same programming themes, the same codes. It's like they were getting right back in my face and saying, you didn't do anything. We can just go ahead and do what we want.
Yeah.
And you really can't stop us.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That's kind of it's I don't know what the word to place on it, but I guess honestly it's disconcerting that they can just get in our face.
Kendall Jenner channels Alice in Wonderland.
A very merry birthday
For me.
for you.
Kendall goes platinum blonde and down the rabbit hole. The 20-year-old model is channeling the whimsical Disney character inside Vogue's December issue. Kendall Jenner.
It seems to be arrogance. It seems to be real arrogance on their part. It's like, yeah, okay, we know that some of you are onto us. We know that there's a few researchers out there that know what we're doing, but we know that the general public, the vast majority of people, will never see it, and so we're just rubbing your nose in it, and what you're going to do about it. That's the way it feels to me.
Yeah. Yeah. It really does feel that way. Then there's different ideas, you know, people that believe in God. There's something in the scriptures where Satan has to go before God and ask permission to tamper with Job's life. And so using those kind of incidences as a framework, people say that God insists that evil broadcast what they're going to do, you know, that they don't have a free ticket just to go and do evil, but they have to tell you.
They don't know what happened. They have missing time.
Right,
they don't know what occurred
right.
for the last few hours.
Right.
They have, and because memory is encoded, so when the personality shooter is up doing everything, all the memory is encoded here. If they go down and the main person comes back up, the main person has no memory of what this part of him did.
I'm really not great with crowds or big groups of people or speaking, public speaking. I'm not great at
What
that.
happens to you when you
It's
do
just you
public
get anxious.
speaking?
I get very anxious. I don't know if that happens to you, but it's just something about being in front of that many people.
Heart pounding?
Yeah, I guess I black out. I never really remember how an interview went or how, you know.
So you won't remember this interview in about 5 minutes?
Probably I'll black it out.
So I can ask anything or
Anything
say
you want.
anything. Wow.
So I don't want to harass you. I just want to ask you about these abuse allegations. Sorry? Okay. Could you just talk to us just for a few moments?
He invited me to model for him at his studio, and I was doing nude modeling at the time to get money for school, where he sort of took his clothes off and had me take pictures of him for a while. Pretty awful. Like, the whole thing. It was a weird thing for me, and I felt really gross about it afterwards. I didn't know what was normal, you know. I'd never worked with a real fashion photographer before. I knew something wasn't right about it, but I wasn't sure if I was the crazy one because everyone around me was acting like everything was totally normal and standard and cool.
One of the most sort of famed photographers of the modeling industry is Terry Richardson, right?
And maybe part of it's just that psychopathic, sadistic personality gets enormous pleasure out of announcing what they're going to do.
Anybody that's come on television must be an initiated witch. You can just check them off.
You know, these songs that you're hearing all the time, they have a dual role. You know, they're not just songs, but they're reminding the slaves of their programming, or they're doing things to the slave's mind control system. It's activating certain parts.